Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your Sunday night showdown football slate between the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys. In division matchup, two teams that totally hate each other. The Cowboys have clinched a playoff berth, but they want that number one seed, so it's going to be very important for them to get this game. And Washington having a lot of troubles, a lot of injuries, so we'll see how motivated they will be in this game. They can play spoiler a little bit, okay? So, now, before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessNetJustD. Guys, we are at, 641 right now? Thank you. Thank you. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. The year is not over. We can still finish 2021 strong. If you're watching this video and you're not a subscriber, click that subscribe button. It'll be very much appreciated. The goal is 1K, so I can do a giveaway. I know you guys want money. I know you guys want money. I will PayPal you. It's no problem. No problem. All right? So let's continue to subscribe. Let's continue to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, don't forget to sign up for the Patreon. It's right here in front of you. And this is just some of the Christmas winnings that went on. Yesterday, we had Kimball Walker, first basket. This is some of my plays. Milwaukee Bucks, I did give away that pick. I did like them. And I saw when they were down big, took advantage of that. The boost that was on FanDuel was great. Adams, 1 TD, and a Packers win. If you already think Adams is going to get a touchdown, the win was just a guarantee right there. So I love that one right there. And then James Harden. There was no one else. This one I took on my own. There was no one else for the Brooklyn Nets, no KD. Obviously, everything is going to be running through James Harden. It only made sense that we just went with James Harden triple-double. Dallas Mavericks, they kept it close. Well, this was a hedge bet right here with the plus 13.5, so that came through. And also, I love the Colts yesterday. I gave that pick in the Patreon. I love the Colts over the Arizona Cardinals, okay? Now, let's deep dive into this Sunday night showdown between Washington and the Cowboys. Let's start out with the captain position. And the first one is going to be Dak Prescott. If we're looking at fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks, that's 25th and 12th. Let me show you this right here. Fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks. And then the Washington football team is right here, 25th and 12th. They're giving 1.3 TDs a game, 235 yards. Passing to opposing quarterbacks. So if we're going to lean one way or another, Dak needs to get things going. He hasn't had a 2-touchdown game since Week 12 against Las Vegas. With his complementary of wide receivers back and healthy, I do expect this team to get things back rolling, especially against this poor secondary in Washington. They lose a little bit of their pass rush as well without Chase Young. So all these things are making me lean towards Dak Prescott. So I love him at his price at $17,000. If you obviously want to go somewhere cheaper, I have other guys for you. Someone else we can look at that has a possibility of going off at that captain position is his number one wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, 13, 10, 9. Those are the target totals in the last 3 weeks. Hasn't gotten the end zone since Atlanta in Week 10. It's a perfect opportunity for him to do so in this game. Last time he faced Washington was 7 for 61, no TDs. Did have a couple rushes as well. That's a positive to see that he's being used in the multiple facets. And now we're looking at this Washington defense against wide receivers. They're 29th and 18th. Let's give you a visual on that as well. So we're looking at fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. We're going to go all the way down to Washington, 29th and 18th, giving 1.1 TDs, almost 180 yards to opposing wide receivers. I love CeeDee Lamb. I also love Amari Cooper. Okay, don't forget about Amari Cooper. He's come back into the fold. Had 5 targets last week, 7 targets the week before. Got a touchdown against Washington. So that's another positive. We see Amari Cooper wasn't hampered against this same similar matchup. Now Dallas is at home, where they want to secure this win. And Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb are going to be our top-tier targets for our captain position. Ezekiel Elliott is someone we can look at as well. Washington struggles against running backs as well, 16th ranked. So we're hoping for a little bit more usage from him, or more efficiency from Zeke. He has not been averaging what we're used to, 5 yards a carry, 4.5 yards a carry. No, he's been doing 3 consistently. So that's not what we want to see. Hopefully things can get going between him and Pollard. Not one of my favorite captain positions, but definitely someone to consider because I do want to take advantage of this Washington defense in a myriad of facets. All right, if we're looking at a captain coming from the Washington side, we got an option for you, and that's Terry McLaurin. He's the number one wide receiver for Washington. Obviously, he struggled, had 0 fantasy points against Dallas in that previous matchup, but Dallas is giving up a ton of yardage to wide receivers. Okay, 22nd ranking against wide receivers. So Terry McLaurin is only the right choice in this game matchup. I think he has a bounce back performance. If they're going to keep this game close, they're going to have to get their best player involved, especially if Antonio Gibson is going to be out. All right, that's the next big news. Obviously, I would have chose Antonio Gibson as one of our captains, but this is a wait and see situation. He is currently a game time decision, questionable for the Sunday night football game. You're going to have to wait probably right after the 4 o'clock games, and then you'll get an update on Antonio Gibson. If he's in, yes, we are going to use him at the captain position. Look at these results. Rushing, 15, 10, 23, 29. Look at that type of usage. And don't forget about the receiving as well. 6 receptions last week, 2 receptions against Dallas, and then back to 5 and 7 in those prior weeks in 13 and 12. So Antonio Gibson is a big factor in this offense. But if we're going to use someone else, if he's out, then we're going to pivot right on over to Jarrett Patterson. Okay, Patterson is the big body running back. Definitely, he'll get you 5 yards a carry. This man is huge, has decent speed, very good collegiately, broke a lot of records. I believe it was with Buffalo. So MAC-10 college right there. Jarrett Patterson has some upside. And if Antonio Gibson is out, we're definitely going to go to well here with Jarrett Patterson. Save you some salary. I know that kind of worked with the previous game with the Cardinals and the Colts. If you put Chase Edmonds, he was very low owned, and he was the cheaper option, and he's the number 1 running back. So you could have definitely took advantage of that. I had a great lineup with Chase Edmonds, so we could get a similar opportunity with Jarrett Patterson if Antonio Gibson is going to be out. All right, so Jarrett Patterson is going to go on the list along as Antonio Gibson. So if Antonio Gibson's in, we're going Gibson. If Antonio Gibson's out, we're going with Patterson. Can't forget about Terry McLaurin as the captain option as well. So these are going to be all my captain options, a lot of options. I just want to give you, a little idea of both sides, but we're definitely leaning more to the Dallas Cowboys side in this matchup. Let's move on to some of the flex plays that we got going on. We're going to clear that out. These are going to be the tier 2, tier 3 type of guys. And obviously, I do have to speak about Taylor Heineke, even though Dallas is very strong against opposing quarterbacks, second and first against fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks. But I do have to keep them in the picture. He is a gunslinger. He can create things with his legs as well. The last time he faced Dallas, he only had 9 fantasy points. So that's the warning. That's what I'm telling you. And now they're in an environment where they're going to be in Dallas. I do have to bring him up so you guys are aware. But if they're going to keep the game close, he's going to have to do something if you obviously make some builds with him in it. All right, but he's not going to be one of our essential plays. That's why he's a flex. Okay. Next guy we're going to go with will be Michael Gallup. So all the struggles against wide receivers that Washington has to deal with, they have a third wide receiver on Dallas, and that's Michael Gallup. So that's going to provide a huge problem. He had a very good performance against Washington in Week 14, 5 receptions, 60 yards on 9 targets. Wasn't able to get in the end zone, but he has that game-breaking ability, especially in the red zone. If things are covered up between Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup can be that guy for you. So we're going to throw him in there. Pollard. Tony Pollard has been the better running back out of the two between him and Zeke. If you want to save salary, this is definitely an option right here. And look at the production. Over 10 fantasy points, 4 out of the last 5 weeks. So really competing with Zeke, and especially his price. So if you definitely want to save salary, just go to Tony Pollard. He's been doing much better. The yards per carry has been much better as well. 6.2 against the Giants, 10.1 against New Orleans. 7.1 against KC. So those are way better performances. They use him in receiving as well. So these guys are definitely sharing the backfield right here. All right, they've been going with the more explosive guy, and that has been Tony Pollard. I love him as a flex and a possible captain as well. Okay, we're looking at some other options. Dalton Schultz is another wide receiver that we can look at, and it's mainly because of consistency here. In week 14 and week 13, he struggled, but before then, he was very consistent. 7 targets against the Raiders, 8 targets against KC, 5 against Denver, 7 against Minnesota, 6 against the Patriots. He had another strong performance against the Giants last week with 8 receptions, 67 yards, and a touchdown. The Giants usually struggle against tight ends anyway, and now going up against the Washington football team. Didn't have a great performance in week 14, but that definitely can turn over. And if we're looking for someone in the mid-range flex position, 6,200, this can definitely be your guy. So Dalton Schultz is a solid play. If we're looking at some other cheaper Washington plays, Ricky Seals-Jones is going to be on our list right here. He's healthy with the injury to Logan Thomas. Ricky Seals-Jones has stepped up all year long, came through with 7 targets, 4 receptions, and 29 yards against Philly. Didn't really do well against Dallas in that previous matchup, but hey, this is a different game, okay? Different situation. They're going to be eager to move that ball, and they're going to have to going up against this Dallas defense or trying to keep pace with Dallas's offense. So I love Ricky Seals-Jones, big body tight end, has upside. Definitely a good option as your lower end flex option. Let's see, we got some other cheap guys down below. We're looking for one of our favorite target getters. That's Adam Humphries. If it's not Terry McLaurin, then Adam Humphries has stepped up as a target getter. Okay, no touchdowns. He's more of your slot receiver, but definitely someone you can consider in the mid range. All right, 6 targets against Philly, 7 in that previous game against Dallas. He was one of the better performers in that game. So Adam Humphries is definitely someone we can consider. And let's see if I have some other gems for you. Curtis Samuel can be an X factor. He's been injured all year, pretty much a non-factor. And when he has played, he's done pretty much nothing. I do have to mention him, but we could definitely stay away from him. If we're looking at defenses, not looking at Washington, but I can definitely go and pay for the Cowboys defense at 6K. They are a turnover machine, okay? Let's just go to this really fast. So this is the bottom end of our flex options. And if you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys, man, 32 sacks, 23 interceptions, just outstanding. 16 fantasy points, 22, 17. The last 3 weeks, those are huge performances. Definitely can be a factor in the Sunday Night Showdown slate. Definitely we're going to consider those. We can consider definitely Greg Zuerlein and Joey Sly. I expect Taylor Heinicke to move the ball, but not really get in the end zone. So I'm fine with both kickers, fine with Dallas's defense, not Washington defense, okay? They are horrible, and they're on the road. This is not a great matchup for a star-studded, healthy Cowboys offense. Those are not good signs. If we're looking for other options cheaper, I think the cheapest we can go was probably, we're not going John May. That's it. That's it. The cheapest we're going is the kickers. Cam Sims, maybe. He's been getting a touchdown. He had a touchdown against Dallas last time. So that's the cheapest I will go is 2,000. But other than that, we're going to stay up top. Okay, let's go with the final 3 guaranteed selections in each and every lineup. And that's going to start off with Dak Prescott. Then it's going to be CeeDee Lamb. And I also love the value of Tony Pollard. This is all Dallas, guys. Obviously, I think that they're going to win this game, control it. They're the favorites for a reason, okay? They've been on top of the division for a reason. Washington struggles. My favorite Washington play is going to be Terry McLaurin if I had to choose one, so I'll leave you with that as well. And it still gives you 13,000 remaining salary, okay? Obviously, you're going to have to choose one of these captains. I love most of these guys as a captain, okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. All right, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Peace out.